that weight line. So even when you use your comb over shears, you go up to, see where that line is? You go up to where that line is, and then you start to arc out. And then from there, you boom, 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 boom. All right, you see how I'm reducing that little bit of puffiness? And that's all I want to do, reduce the puffiness. Because even though at the bottom of the fade, that's our blend point, right? This is where my 1 is. So even though I'm blending everything down, that bulk of that line is still going to be there from the 1, all right? But you see the bulk get removed. If you wanted to, you can actually go all the way back down to maybe your 1/8, which is actually going to be like your all-purpose comb, and break it down. This is considered like your 3, 3.5, so forth. Then your all-purpose comb, which is a smaller comb, will be actually for that blending zone for a little bit shorter, so you can remove a little bit more of the hair, all right? Then you go down to your all-purpose. Same process. All right, your all-purpose actually brought it right back together. To what? It looks like that's the what guard? That 1 guard, right? And that's what we initially put this line in there with, right? All right. So initially took that line out faintly, and then you could go through your progressions with your shears. All right, cool. Back to the clippers. All right. Now, since we know we have weight at the top, I'm still going to start from the 3, just because of preference. I'm going to start that open 3. And now, the line that we're attacking is that second format line where that darkness is. Because we know at the bottom of your fade is where your actual fade is going to sit. But at the top, that bulk and that transition has to be there. You're not going to hit a lot with the 3 because you already broke it down with the shears. But do you see how close the shears are to the actual clipper as far as breaking it down?
Yeah.
And if you wanted to just like save speed and time, you could do that on any texture of hair. All right? Doesn't matter if it's coarse. Depends on, because all you're doing is to remove that heavy bulk. Now we till our close 3, and all we're doing is attacking where that line is. Bam. Now we hit the 2. All right. So now you start to lose the line the closer you get to the guard with that you put here. All right, so that's that 1 guard. So even though it's really faint, you still gotta pay attention to where that line is. Only thing I'm attacking is that 2. 2, mid. Close, or 1 notch before close. 2 close. Bam. Alright, now you just breaking down. Next guard is what?
1.
1. 3, 2, 1. Wow. Remember your placement. Now you can start to, in effect, just come across both lines, because the closer you get down to that bottom part, the less what? Less bulk. You go mid. Slowly breaking it down. One more notch. Close in. Alright, now you see that little bit of bulk that we still have at the top, right? You can do that with shears. But the base is just a little bit of butter that's up here.
Turn them a little bit so I can see. Oh, at the top?
That little bit of butter. Alright. Also, always brush it too. Knock
So
off
you
any
work on
extra.
one side at a time? You gonna go around?
Depends on your preference. I find it easier to break down one side so you remember your placement for your guards and where you start and finish from. You can go all the way around, right? And say as you're going all the way around the head, maybe on this side you didn't extend as much as you did on this side. So then the fade might be looking different. Or say on this side you didn't remove the bulk from the top as much, but you pushed the line up on that side.
But if you're going around at the same time,
But you still gotta be precise as far as where you're going. Like again, it's your personal preference. It's however you feel comfortable. Just the breakdown is the same. But sometimes you do get lost in the fade going straight around. When you break it down side by side, it's like you also have a reference point. See what I'm saying? Alright. So we're gonna go to that 1/16th, which is the 0 guard. Alright. Turn your client's head so you can see. And breaking it down. A minute. Go one more notch because you're getting closer to that fine part of that blade. Right here, now you close. And you're focusing on that line. That's bottom line. Alright. Brush it so you can see what you're doing. Heat check in the mirror. Looking good as far as where your transition is, where your pocket is, where your skin is going to be at the bottom. Use your chipping motion. Knock off any weight that you see at the top. Alright. Only thing with chipping is you got to make sure that when you chip, that you use very light pressure so that you don't create gaps or holes if you're going to go up into another level with a smaller guard. Alright. Now we're going to hit the open master. Questions, comments, concerns? Alright, check it out. What would change if Ja was in a chair?
The guard, you ain't going that high.
What do you mean?
You ain't gonna use that 3.
Alright, you might not use the 3.
You might not use that 2 either.
You might not use the 2. But what change? What's the biggest thing that changes?
The trim.
Placement? Nah, the 2 format lines.
What we got? Shaking over there, bro. Alright, the biggest thing that changes is your texture. So the guards you're using to blend might be different. Alright? Now think about how light that would have transition would have been in this pocket and how much it wouldn't have been a transition from dark to light if we had put open master in between. You see what I'm saying? You don't have that transition. You wanted to go from dark to light to even skin. Alright? The biggest thing about a fade, that is the most tedious thing about a fade, is making sure that your transition or your placement or your guard are the same. Alright? Now, at a certain point, I can look in the mirror when I probably get to the midpoint and I can say, alright, I'm done. But will I be done? I gotta go all the way back to where I started. Alright? My nose is itchy, bro. Stay still, bro. Stay still,
man.
Alright. Now the closer you get, to avoid you making lines. Alright, stretching is cool. Stretching is cool. Love to stretch. Cool. But when you stretch, right, don't apply more pressure. Light pressure, the closer you get to the raw guard, because now you don't have that cushion or that room for error. Now at the mid, you got to be precise where you're at, because everything above that is what? You broke all this down to a what? An open. All right. back open a little bit. Light pressure the closer you get to that bottom part. Alright, if you notice, I've been going up and down on this one guard or this one blade just to make sure I'm creating my lines and keeping my formats where I want to keep it. So even if you're fading the client, like say you go through your transition, right? And you look and you're like, alright, damn, I still got some weight. It's cool to go back to the open guard and just blend it down. He doesn't know what you're doing. Only thing he cares about is the end result. Alright, cool. Getting closer to where what? That trimmer